Hi, crew, and welcome to this next exciting installment of the Hot Chocolate Chronicles number 2. And today we're going to be talking about retro games and Pax East. And GDC subsequently. And ready your mugs of hot chocolate or your preferred hot beverage, as my friend Alice prefers gray or Earl Grey tea, and have a drink with me. Locked on target. All right, man, that hot chocolate's good. I need to get more Swiss Miss. But yeah, so let's talk about retro games. So 2015 is the year of the Indian, because we have Donut County coming out, which is a great looking game. We have Axiom Verge. We have Chasm. We have Neo Drifter or whatever, the car one that looks like it's like an 80s arcade game that looks awesome. It's like F-Zero remixed. And then there's just a lot of great games coming out this year. No Man's Sky looks promising, but I'm it's so overhyped now that I'm like, this is gonna stink. But that's just my own take. But the game I'm looking forward to most out of the indie scene this year is by far Chasm. And I want to just talk about Chasm a little bit. So, Chasm is a Metroidvania game that you just drop down, some villager, from what I understand, the villagers find this cave and some strange stuff starts happening to the village. And the plot is you have to go down Chasm, which is all procedurally generated, and go through the mines and fight bad guys, discover relics, and find out what's going on to this town. Now, this doesn't sound all that interesting describing it that way, but the gameplay looked like a true return to Castlevania for me. Like a true return to the old school Castlevania days. And not the bad parts of Castlevania, like, grinding 1,000 bats for HP boost or whatever. But I mean the parts of exploration and the fact that hidden treasures are abundant, plentiful, and in different locations each time the game spawns. And the game is like 8 to 10 hours long to explore. But if you start a new profile, you will then have the whole game generate an 8 to 10 hour dungeon for you again. And that's super exciting for me. So, in Rogue Legacy, there's like every time you die, you get a new dungeon. I like that, but the same part is if I die, I still want to go back and explore this dungeon or part of the dungeon of that I wasn't able to explore. I know there's the lock feature, but I feel like that's a penalty in the Rogue Legacy, as opposed to I just want to go out and explore and see this awesome dungeon that got generated. Just like a free roam type of thing. And I like Chasm because of that. It captures this sense of exploration as well as meaningful combat, and actually has some fantastic pixel art. I love it, and it's not the NES aesthetic like Axiom Verge. It's actually like 16-bit stuff, and I don't mean like they're cheaping out with the 16-bit stuff. I mean like the pixel art is on the quality level of Shovel Knight, which there is an art direction, an art aesthetic, and art quality to pixel art of this magnitude. Because it's a lot more work than just slapping together a 3D model and that looks like a PS2 era model, which a lot of indies are doing, and doing well, I might add, which is wonderful. Thank you, indies, for throwing 3D graphics into your game. So it's not synonymous. Indie isn't synonymous with 2D pixel art, which is kind of what's developing right now. But yeah, I'm just pumped to get a true return to a exploration type game that I don't have to mine mindlessly mine for like 10 hours or whatever. Like, I love Terraria, I love Starbound, but what gets me is the exploration is gated behind time consuming processes. So, like, oh gosh, it's like every time you dig in Terraria, you have to, and you're trying to find a new path to a cavern or mine to an ore. It takes like a minute or two to mine to that location. You can see it, but you can't get to it unless you go click, 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 and so on and so forth. And that is kind of boring to me. So I'd rather have someone do all the work of creating interesting things for me and explore the dungeon. So Chasm, probably my #1 game this year. Next to probably Splatoon, Xenoblade Chronicles, or Zelda Wii U. But yeah, good job on you, Discord Studio or Games, or I think, yeah, Discord Games is the developer, and good for you. I was pumped to see that game at GDC. It was a wonderful experience. So now let's move on to PAX East versus. So PAX East is currently going on, and it's Saturday at 1:54. So we still haven't gotten into the main keynote events, but Friday and Saturday have been boring. I mean, this is the most boring PAX East I have ever watched or tuned into. There's been one big announcement, and that's been a Blizzard announcement about Overwatch, and that's literally it. And I can't remember if Blizzard made that announcement on during GDC or if it's PAX East even. I'll have to check my sources, but it's not beyond that point. That's literally the only announcement that come out of PAX East. At this point, we've had better announcements and more numerous announcements come out of GDC. And GDC isn't an announcement platform. It's a game developers conference that, because the media follows now, their industry executives are now starting to promote product there. But it's that product promotion is not for the people that go to GDC. It's everyone who's following GDC. So unless it's like a VR alternative, like Valve released their Vibe thing, which it looks really cool, and I'm excited that finally someone had it. So we have room tracking now, where you put on the Vibe headset and you have your lighthouses out and about around the room. You can actually have motion tracking as you explore the room, and it actually puts up a wireframe. It has collision detection too. So it tells you when you're about to run into a wall, which I appreciate. But again, VR, whatever. We'll get there in like 5-10 years, but it's going to transform the way we see things. But video games has always been a social interaction for me, and putting on a VR headset and I just don't see any way to share that experience, and that makes me sad. So. We might not VR, but I think the death of couch gaming will be thing. But not everyone's going to adopt VR. We still have board games now that we have video games, and a lot of the board games are coming back now. But if you would have asked me 10 years ago, I would have said video games are going to kill board games. So just to be fair, I see doom and gloom sometimes. But I don't think we're going to see the death of couch gaming, really. But we're going to see a lot less emphasis on it. We've already seen it with no games on my PS3 supporting split screen that I know of. I had a friend over, and I was like, "Hey, you like playing 360? Let's check out my PS3 and see what we can play on here, because I love my PS. He hasn't played on it, so a lot of the experience is kind of new." He comes over. I try to find a split screen game out of like the 50 or 60 PS3 games I own, and maybe like 4 of them, like Little Big Planet, PlayStation All Stars, and Uh, PlayStation Heroes, All for One or whatever. But those are like the only multiplayer game, local multiplayer that PlayStation has. It's kind of pitiful. Uh, well, I mean, of the games I own, and I own a lot. So yeah, that's it was kind of disheartening to realize. But yeah, let me get back to PAX East, or East versus GDC. GDC has been very surprising as I've this year have been trying to develop my own indie game, which I don't think is going to come to a completion in the next few years. But uh, I've delved into a lot of the topics, and now GDC is completely and totally relevant for me. Like, there was this talk about like restoring textures on Halo 2, and how they made pretty much an auto texturing program, and that blew my mind. I'm like, wait, so all I need to do is paint this yellow, red, whatever, to tell the machine that it's priority. Then I assign a texture pack to that. Like, I if things are blue, that gives it third priority. Paint that in this texture of paint blue targets in a rubberized texture. Then paint red targets in a metal texture, and so on and so forth. And the machine will literally auto texture everything for you. That is ridiculous to me. And that's brand new technology. Like that's coming out of GDC, and that is going to cut production times for video games down hugely. I mean, hugely, because texturing and artistry are the two hardest things to do in video games. I've done code, and I'm sorry if you're a programmer. Code was a lot easier for me to figure out than 3D modeling. Well, I can't say that because I haven't mastered code. I haven't mastered 3D modeling, but I can get the gist of the logics behind the programming language. I will tell you that baking maps and understanding shaders and mathematically setting up 3D modeling, oh my gosh, is that high level stuff. Like, I get why people go to specialize in this. All right, coding, like, I have literally picked up a lot, like 3 programming languages, not to any like mastery, but I know what I can poke around in C++ and do what I'm doing, or know what I'm doing, and C# and know what I'm doing. You know, that type of thing. And I'm not a programmer. I'm a biblical studies major. So, but I'm saying is, art direction is, to me, is the hardest, is one of the hardest parts of video games. AI design is the other. Games still stink at AI design. We haven't really mastered that. But the fact of the matter is, this technology is gonna cut like game design and like a quarter, pretty much. Like, it's gonna take 25% off of the out of the art direction process completely and totally. A lot of art's becoming automated, and it's not to say like, ooh, you plug in the values and there's no correction that can go on. No, you can still go into the individual piece and edit it, but you don't have to go to every face or every polygon, manually apply texture that you have to import localized, and that's like 200, 300 less clicks per object, and that's huge. That's huge. That's like 20, 30 minutes of work off of every object that goes into the game, which again blows my mind. So PAX East has become a big thing about comedy and shows and panels and things. Not so much about the gameplay, at least as far as in the games, as opposed to what it was in the past. So not really enjoying this PAX. Watching the streams, I mean, love the people over at Rooster Teeth, love what they do. loved watching the League of Legends panel, but this PAX has been sadly empty of new and innovative ideas. All of the innovations and all the things I've gotten excited about for the industry have come out of GDC this year, and that's scary to me. Uh, where where is the love of video games? And I'm not saying like going there and participating. I'm saying like PAX to me was always this time of celebration of many different walks of gaming. So you could go there if you're retro, you could go there if you're casual, you could go there whatever. Chances are you go there, you're going to find uh, people that are interested in what you're interested in. And that might have been true of PAX South, but I just get the feeling that PAX East has gotten to the point where, oh, it's more of a machine now than it is a community. That kind of destroys it for me. Not saying that there isn't good to come out of it, but yeah, that's where I'm sitting. I've been watching PAX since 4 or 5 years ago every year. Not doing it for me. Yeah. So so what have your been? Yeah, have your been? This is why I don't do questions in my vids because I think about them and I stumble over my words and look like it. Um, so how how have there been any events, PAX events in the past that have struck you? What are some of your PAX memories? What about any retro games? Please tell me what games you're looking forward to here in 2015, uh, particularly in the indie crowd, because there's a lot to be seen. Uh, have you tuned into GDC? Uh, have you tuned into PAX this year? And please just tell me what you think. Again, thank you for sharing a cup of hot chocolate with me. Till we meet again, stay on target.